Baby, a lot of people were mad at Trump. His Trump supporters was pissed off because of the interview he had. Not because of the interview, because of what he said in the interview with Candace Owens. Before I play that clip, please do subscribe and click the bell. Please share this video on your social medias and your friends and your family. It does help my channel. And give me a thumbs up. You can't see the dislike button anymore, so just give me a thumbs up on this video and leave me in the comment below what you think, and I'll come back with some more.
In terms of big pharma, which is a huge topic on the minds of mothers, especially. You're seeing what's happening at these school board meetings. Where do you stand on these vaccine mandates? And obviously, I know that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know where you stand on the vaccine.
It was one of the greatest achievements. We did it in less than 9 months.
To be able to do that.
Yeah,
but now it's taken a twist, right? It's gotten, now we went from this is a good thing and people should have this option to military men, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting this vaccine. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on, forget about the mandates, that people have to have their freedom, but at the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had in 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers were so, a lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are questioning how.
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
What about the masking of children? That's a big one for moms right now.
I think it's a terrible thing.
That flies in the face of science. The kids have a virtual 0% chance of dying of COVID, and yet they're insisting on these vaccine mandates. On these masking mandates, and now even the vaccine mandates for small children. And what's going on there?
I think what's happening is you look at the masks where Fauci and a lot of other people said masks don't mean anything. All of a sudden he becomes a radical masker. I don't like to see the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school.
It's like China. I've been to China.
And yet China's education system's a hell of a lot better than ours. You know what? They're rated number 2 or 3, and we're rated number 44.
But masking children,
it's bad.
The way it looks, right? It doesn't look like a free country.
I'm against it.
So I don't know about him or something in the video. I'm not sure if it's the angle. I'm not sure if it's the camera. I don't even think it's the camera because, Candace Owens, through the Daily Wire, they got good equipment. So it's just something about Trump that looks very different in his video. It could be his hair. It's probably the hair, the tracks that he wears in his hair sometimes. Don't he wear tracks? Didn't he spend like $72,000 a year on his hair? So he's surprised. He surprised a lot of Republicans. He surprised a lot of Democrats. There's some things in this video that I actually like that he said. My whole thing about the vaccine scenario was because of the time discrepancy. In the Trump administration, Trump was saying that the vaccine was going to come out at the end of 2020, while Dr. Richfield, who's the CDC director at the time, who is an actual Republican, because, baby, he was bowing down to Trump after he passed the torch to the Democrat lady for the CDC that's in there now. I believe she's a Democrat. It's pretty obvious. But, it was a time discrepancy. Trump was saying that the vaccine was supposed to come out towards the end of 2020. Dr. Richfield was of the CDC at the time. He was saying that it should come out during the third quarter of 2021. And that did not sit well with me. The same about the doctor that allegedly passed away after taking it. 2 weeks he passed away. And so what I liked about in the video, he talked about, that people should have a choice, and we're taking a vaccine, but most of the people who are in the hospital, 90% of them are unvaccinated. And I like that he said that. I appreciate him said it, because I'm hearing from nurses, and I'm hearing from people that are telling me, out and about, that, hey, this is actual real thing. The hospital beds are being taken over. So I actually like that he is saying that. And so, of course, with the Dr. Fauci in the video, with him saying that, masks don't work in the beginning, that was another thing that made me just kind of question the CDC and Dr. Fauci at the beginning. When Dr. Fauci said that masks don't work, he was doing an interview with Chuck Todd, and Chuck Todd was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure about this, that masks do not work?" And Dr. Fauci was like, "Yes, I'm sure." And Dr. Fauci even got criticized by a UCLA doctor in California and said he was wrong for saying that. And so I also like that he acknowledged the China education system. The Chinese government is, we could talk about their government all day, but one thing that, which I'm not really surprised he didn't criticize the Chinese government. But anyways, one thing that we can say is that, the Chinese system, the Chinese people that come here that's from China, they do really well in education. They have a highly great cultural aspect in their family. While down here in America, there's a lot of permissive, non-permissive parenting. They want to be friends with their kids, and their kids end up being, thugs and stuff in the streets. So I like the fact that he said that about the education system in China, because it's true. I also could tell in this video that Candace Owens was really struggling. She really wanted Trump to agree with her. And I think it probably took her in the back that he was saying what he was saying. From my knowledge, Trump has never, ever, and there's a lot of people that can attest to this, that say this, Trump has never been anti this vaccine. He's always said, take the vaccine. Hell, it's the vaccine that was under his administration. So, of course, he's going to take credit for it. Right. And he's taking credit for it. The other day, he wrote a letter, and it was publicly shown on Twitter about him, basically giving himself props for having the vaccine. His whole thing was with the masks. That's what his whole thing was. His whole thing was always just, being petty with Biden, loving to wear the masks and stuff like that. That was his notion, the masks. But the vaccine thing was no secret. It really wasn't a secret. So I can definitely attest to say that, hey, he actually was for this vaccine. Should he been more, I guess, out there with it? Possibly. But then at the same time, media that leans on the left should have been more truthful with their journalism, instead of playing this business model of left versus right. Because I have never seen Trump ever said that he's anti this vaccine, because he's the one that created it. Why would he criticize something that was under his own watch? Trump would not do that. Trump loves to take credit for things. So, so at the same time, because a lot of people, they rely on CNN, they rely on CBS, ABC to tell you these things. And so when people aren't independent thinkers, they're like, well, CNN and so on and so forth did not say this, so that means it must be true. But people like me and someone else that may be watching this can attest to say that, hey, Trump did not, say he was anti-vaccine or anti this vaccine. His whole thing was, just being petty and being funny with the masks. That's it. That's all. Anyways, let me know in the comments below. It's really not that serious. It's really not with how he was with those two things. Please do subscribe and click the bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload. I just wish everybody would just stop being so sensitive and offensive to things in the world and actually just, live their life. Life is short. Deuces. Yay, yay.